Alright, Tsubaki versus Golld, game number 2. Take a look at the pick and ban phase on this side. Golld now with the counter pick. So it's always tricky to play on blue side, if anybody is new to the game watching. Blue side is definitely tricky. Having double counter pick with first ban, last pick, and you get the counter pick for your first 2 Tems, it definitely gives you a big advantage in turns 1, 2, and 3 normally, depending on team comps obviously, but with people having good selections on what Tems are good against what and what is just overperforming in the current state of the game, it's very, very easy for Golld side to have an advantage early on. So Kinu getting banned on Tsubaki side, or sorry, on Golld side, and then Raze being banned on Tsubaki side, looking like the same as game 1. And Golld picking the Gaialis first. So Tsubaki's definitely going to have to think about what he wants to do turn 1. Do some perfect jab, some stone balls. He knows that perfect jab stone ball brings the Gaialis to 9% HP. So that is definitely something to think about. It still is able to get a crystal blight off. It's still able to get a sharp stabs off as well due to the Hido on his Skunch, which is active if he does decide to pick Tataru and Skunch just like first game. So we'll definitely see. If he is to play the same way, he's going to have to think about turn 2 again, and that's where the mind games are going to come in when it comes to a best of 3. Because Golld also knows that his Skunch is faster, so he may be thinking Tsubaki's going to make a different play on turn 2, while then Golld can also do something to counteract that play. Being on the proactive side is definitely good. You get all the decisions when you're on Golld, when you have that advantage in the early game. And when knowing that you can make the switch, or that you can do the attacks and have no downside to it, and it's either they switch for damage or they just die, it's always nice. So Mashuk being banned, that is the difference. He's letting Riken through, and Kinu is being banned on Golld side, so it's not broke, don't fix it, right? Volarin coming in on Tsubaki side. Riken Cerny being picked. So Whiplump and Volarin, without Mashuk, I think Volarin is most likely going to see more play. Without the turbo, it might be better to pick Volarin here. Does decide Saipat and Tuvine. No Gaialis this game. He doesn't have Akinu with it, so that makes it not as good. And Tuvine, he's thinking, is better in this situation. Here we go. Decides on the Whiplump for Tornadoes and Sharp Rains. Depending on if it has speed or not, it's most likely going to be going second unless it uses Tornado in a lot of situations. So I'm definitely looking forward to see what Whiplump is going to be able to do in this game. It did really well last game, did what it needed to do. Volarin was definitely the MVP in my opinion. Alright, get into it. So turn 1, perfect jab. Onto Tataru with a heat up. Good old Brownie trade on Skunch, perfect jab. And see if it's a stone ball. Yep, there it is. Bringing it to 9%, just like it did before. See how things go on Golld side on this game. So he does have the Riken. Tataru has the Stone Ball, which is going to probably be the way to deal with Riken later on. He also does have Saipat. It can tank Riken pretty well while also dissing out Toxic Inks. If they get really creative, use that Ice Shuriken. So this is the turn that already played out game 1, right? Scunch, Ido goes off before the Scunch on Tsubaki's side. So it's going to have to be a switch up here, or maybe the same thing, thinking that Golld is going to do something different. Like bringing in Psypat could be okay here to tank the Hido. Can't bring in Tuvine. And now I think he's just deciding, do I bring in Psypat, do I bring in Volarind, or do I think he's just going to do something else? Then Hido with the Scunch. I think Turbo could be okay into Volarind if he has that. I think he does. He doesn't have Noxious Bomb, I'm almost positive. The Turbo into Volarind would allow for Giles to then have an extra turn to live. But the Crystal Bite can kill Tataru. And I think he's thinking, he has to be thinking, okay, Crystal Bite kills Tataru. Will the Turbo onto Volarind actually win him the game? That's what he's trying to think about right now. Because Tataru will die and it won't be able to kill. Alright, leaves Scunch in, alright. Crystal Bite coming through. And it does die even with Rock Shield. Wow. That definitely is rough. Needed a little bit more defense. Oof, oof, oof. I like what he did though, because when it comes to Fellow Tamers, if anybody does know the rules, you can switch up items, you can switch up TVs, and you can change up your Tems in between games and in between series. So if you know something is going to happen on specific turns, you can definitely switch it up for the upcoming games, just like what happened now, right? Gunch Giles came in, same perfect jab into a Crystal Bite with -1, getting a kill onto Tuvine, or sorry, onto Tataru, and yeah. Maybe he didn't have Rock Shield before, but this time he decided to put Rock Shield knowing it was going to happen, but I guess it was just calculated to where it still just barely killed Tataru. So again, Ninja is active on Scunch's side. He has the Psypat now. Alright, Ninja coming through. Sharp Stab's coming through. Getting the kill onto Scunch. Toxicant going on to Giles, and there it is. So, 2-for-1 trade in this situation. So Tsubaki has 3 times left against the 4 of Golld. So just like before, Tsubaki had the 3-4, but this time he's not set up with turbos. He's not set up overall in this game, so we're going to have to see how this is going to work out now. He doesn't have Mashuk, so he can't bring in any turbos for Volarind like he was able to last game in order to be fast enough, get Toxic Plumes off, less damage, and getting Noxious Bombs before Cernif was able to Water Cutting Lily. So this is going to be a definite change of events compared to Game 1. It's looking real strong for Golld. Whip Love coming in. Psypat being switched out for Tuvine. Maybe thinking the Water Cutting Lily was coming in. There it is. Water Cutting Lily getting the buff up from the Whip Lump. Dealing a bit more damage. Going decent onto Tuvine. Or sorry, on 57% HP left with a Noxious Bomb, +1 special defense, making it to where tornadoes are not going to be able to deal enough damage. So looking like a repeat from next game. Volarind is going to be the way that Tsubaki's going to have to win this game. He also has the Psypat for Riken, so he's going to have to save that as well. I think if Skunch can get a perfect jab onto Volarin, Riken will be able to carry the game if Saipat is dead. If it's a 1v1 in that situation, I think it's gonna go pretty well for Golld. He's in a really good spot as is, especially since nothing's gonna be able to die in just 2 hits. Most things besides Whip Lump on Noxious Bombs. Riken and Skunch are gonna be able to live at least 2 hits from everything. Thinking about their turns. Toxic Plume could be good in this situation as well, but remember, it will not go off before Cerneath actually gets an attack off. Keeping Tuvine alive to get a -1 attack, a debuff onto Skunch or Riken is going to be really, really good. Time is running down. Using up that reserve timer. Trying to figure out how can I get back into this game? How can I win with what's going on right now? Water Cutting Lily coming in, bringing it down to 43% on the Tuvine with Tsunami coming through. Tuvine should live just barely. Tuvine staying alive with 14%. Toxic Plume coming in. And here comes the Crystal Plume Gatlin. There it is. Who we killing? We are killing the Cerneath. Alright, Crystal Plume comes in. Toxic Tick gets the kill on a Cerneath. Whip Lump taking some damage, 70%. Bringing it down to pretty close to lethal range from 1 Noxious Bomb. So that is something to look at as well. Riken coming on in. So this is going to be a weird turn. So Tornado goes off before Tuvine can get any hits off. So now the question is, are we going to Tornado into Tuvine? And are we going to let Tuvine die, or are we bringing in the Saipat? And we still have the Skunch in the background, and I think it's going to be really rough for Tsubaki. I think he needs another -1 attack buff onto Riken or Skunch. Otherwise, the Volarin is just going to die to roughly 2 attacks. It's going to be a perfect jab. Even Hido is going to be faster than Volarin as well to put it to sleep. So when he thinks Skunch is going to Hido, he's going to have to Hyperkinetic in order to get the speed prio. And yeah, it's looking real good for Golld right now. Looking real strong. See how this turn goes. Tornado coming through onto Riken, doing a good 73% HP. Sharp Rain coming in onto Tuvine, saving the Tornado for later, letting the Tornado go off, and then Noxious Bomb coming in for Whip Lump. Hopefully this gets the kill. It does not get the kill. So now that he has Tornado active, Whip Lump has Tornado active, right? So that's going to beat Saipat if he Toxic Inks or Ice Shurikens, right? So I think, yeah, I'm almost positive it does have Nicho Psy-Off. So Nicho is gonna have to go into Whip Lump in order to make sure Tornado doesn't go off. That HP is gonna be really valuable in this situation for Tsubaki on Saipat. Embers did do a healthy amount of damage on a Volarin, bringing it down to 63% HP. Good old HP attack Riken. Golld switching out Riken into Skunch. A little curious on why he would do that, because Tornado goes off first, so he is letting the health go down. All the way down to 47%. Nicho goes into Whip Lump, so he thought his Saipat was faster than Whip Lump, but it's not. Whip Lump getting that Tornado off was absolutely huge, especially wasting the Nicho Psy as well. Noxious Bomb coming out into 76%. I think him getting that tornado off is definitely going to cost this game, going towards Golld's side. So Saipat has Ninja active. Valoran has a special defense, but it doesn't matter against 2 physical Tems. Skunch, I think it's a stamina bug. I'm pretty sure Skunch has a good amount of stamina here. If not all of his stamina here. So that is a stamina bug. He does have enough for Perfect. He does have enough for Ninja, Oshi, or not Oshi, Haido, so let's pretend like that stamina right there says 100%. I don't think there's a combo of 2 attacks that kill Raiken either, so Haido coming out onto Saipat, putting him to sleep. Feather Gatling coming through. Brings it to 48. Meteor Storm coming in, making sure that it is the last attack on the blue pool. And it is going to bring a Ninja Jitsu to be able to clean up the Saipat. Looking like a good game. GG's for sure. Yeah, I wonder if Tsubaki is going to change the situation that happened. Maybe take away some attack, maybe some HP, in order to have some more defense onto his Tataru. Because he needs to be able to live from the perfect jab Crystal Bite, and that one turn can definitely bring him back into the game. He could then turbo into Valoran, right? Being faster in every situation, and be able to win on turn 3 or get a really good advantage on turn 3. Feather Gatling coming into Raiken. Ember's coming in. 36 down to 13 with the 6.5 tick. And G definitely. Like, nah, that Raiken's dying. Get that Raiken out of my face. Oh, and he doesn't go down. So use the hyper to see what exactly was being ran on Raiken. Looking like HP with some attack, maybe even some special defense. But GG's nonetheless. Golld taking game 2.